Hey everybody, welcome to Massive Iron Live. Let me see if I can get this damn sun out of the way so I'm not annoying people. What's going on, people? Happy Saturday, been a while. And I got a wife and a dog in here distracting me. She's trying to whisper things to me, like that helps me understand what she's saying when I'm trying to run a live video. You could speak up because it's okay if they hear you.
I'm thinking about getting my Valentine's Day chocolates.
So you can eat chocolate for breakfast. Eat chocolate for breakfast. We're going to be running. What's going on, guys? We're about to head out for a, 15K run. And I thought I'd do a live video, see if anybody was around. Where's everybody from? Give me a give me a shout out. Let me know where you're from. What's going on, Peter? It's freezing in my office. Trying to stay warm. I'll be on Sweden, that's right. I'll be on as long as you guys have questions. Toss me up any questions you have. Lifting, nutrition, supplements, off topic, whatever the case may be. I'm going to try to down some coffee before I get a caffeine headache. We're going to try to run 15K. It's absolutely freezing here in Ohio. So what's everybody up to today? I just want to let everybody know, sorry, just been out in the cold and I can't breathe. Let everybody know that I have 5 coaching slots open. I have 2 open and I'm opening 3 more. So if you're interested, head over to Instagram at @BenTheBarman, and send me a message. It's only a 3-month commitment, $80 a month, so it's a good deal. And if you need any other services or any of my books, head over to my website, superlivingtoday.com. We've got some t-shirts and all that kind of good stuff. So I've only trained once this week. Been kind of a crazy week. So YouTube is a little slow to let everybody know I'm on. But once you're on, let me know where you're from and just get rolling with the questions. And I'll stay on as long as YouTube actually can handle me. You guys can handle me. So, got my dog in here. My wife's going to be doing some cross stitch. She's right over here. What's going on, RC? Finally catch the big, hairy, ugly guy. Trying to do this more routinely. We got back from, when did we get back from Scotland?
By the time we got our car and everything, Sunday. So, probably a week ago.
Yeah, we had a crazy, crazy adventure in Scotland.
A week.
And then we had to go to Chicago and get our car and all that kind of good stuff. What's up, Iowa? Competed in Iowa several times. What's up, Asim? No questions, just happy to see you. Good to see you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's nice that YouTube is actually notifying people. What's going on, Justice? Where in Kentucky are you? You're right below us. What's going on, Matt from Michigan? Michigan's right above us, so we got the Kentucky Michigan sandwich. My wife's over here eating chocolates for breakfast.
It's my Valentine's present.
Yeah, she's eating chocolates and I'm eating black coffee. That's the kind of life I live. What's going on, Jamie? Guys, feel free to toss up any questions on anything. Diet, nutrition, training, off topic. I don't really care. Just toss them up. What's going on, Dubai? Sean is in Dubai. And Justice says he's 90 miles or so from Cincinnati. I think we've been to Winchester. There's also a Winchester here in Ohio, but I can't remember where that is from. Started a new series last week, and I'm going to be continuing it this week, so keep your eye out for that. I'm always interested in any video topic ideas you guys have, so if you have any topic ideas, don't hesitate to toss them in the comment section. I do read the comment section. I don't always have time to answer all the comments. Obviously, I can hardly keep up on my Instagram DMs. So I started a series, 3 simple ways and the first video was to build stronger shoulders. So I'm gonna, if you have any topic ideas for the 3 simple ways series, just let me know, and I will, see what I can do. We'll see if it's a good topic. We trained once this week. That's it.
The week is not over yet.
RC said East Coast here, it's effing freezing. Yeah, it's supposed to get up to 35 or 40. So I thought it'd be a good idea to run a live video while it was warming up because it's absolutely freezing. And by the time we're out of here and get to our trail, hopefully it'll be a little bit more warm. This is the longest I've been in a live video without a question. You guys are starting to scare me. If you could post up a question, that would be great. No, just
They're
busting.
Trying to wake up.
Yeah, everybody's cold and freezing this morning. Usually I get a ton of questions right out of the gate, but YouTube is slow to notify folks, and I'm on a little bit early today. Matt, do you think methods like greasing the groove and very high frequency, like training pull-ups every day, is effective and safe for increasing pull strength? That's a really good question, and I think it's more complicated than than a simple answer. But there's a couple variables here. When I was in the military, I did push-ups every day, and I got really good at push-ups. But I also noticed that it beat the crap out of my joints. Now, this isn't going to be the case for everybody. I'm not so much a fan of doing them every day. 2 on, 1 off, or 4 times a week is probably what I think is best for most people. That's just my opinion. And again, that is just an opinion. But, even up to 5 days a week, I think would be okay. But I think you do need some rest and recovery. I think that's a good idea. But I do think for body weight stuff, doing it, multiple times a week is a very, very good way to get better at it. A lot of people want to know how to get better at push-ups or pull-ups. And honestly, like you said, doing them every day or a lot of days it's good for them. Excuse me, I've talked about this before, but when one of the best ways to do it is, say you're doing them 4 days a week, put together a 2-minute block each day and see how many pull-ups you can do rest pause style in that 2-minute block. And say you do 13, 12, and 11 over those 4 2-minute blocks. Just try to improve by 1 or 2 reps the next week. So it's a good idea to try to improve week in and week out. And if you do that, you should be able to make some nice, steady progress. What's going on, Gary? My coffee is so hot, I think I'm going to die.
Right, but I feel...
And I'm sorry about clearing my throat, but A, it's freaking cold outside, and I was just outside. And B, I just woke up, so I'm a hot mess. So, Gary Thomas. Gary, I met at the Arnold a few years back. Will you and Fiona be at the Arnold this year? Can anybody tell me the Arnold dates? Because I am so out of touch, and I'd have to see if we can fit it in. Peter. Alternative to Easy Bar for biceps. Our gym hasn't invested in an Easy Bar yet. It's a very good question. What I would probably do, one thing I like to do is, there's a lot of alternatives. I like to do a cable curl, single arm cable curl, where I'm bent over and I can really get a good contraction. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I bend over, I get a really good contraction like that. That probably didn't help you much at all, but I like to do single arm cable curls. One thing you can do as well is you can get in the seated row machine, like the seated cable row. And you can, with the seated cable row, you can curl it and then bring it up more towards your nose at the end. And you can get a really good contraction. That's a really good exercise, doing curls on the seated row machine. Because you curl and then you rotate up a little bit and get that extra contraction. You can do reverse grip lat pull downs. Do them nice and controlled. With a normal lat pull downs, you're focusing on driving your elbow back, right? On the reverse grip lat pull downs, you want to focus on pulling with the biceps. So you curl it down right here. So those are some really, really good bicep exercises you can basically do in any commercial gym. There are 2 variations I really love, and 2 variations you rarely ever see anyone doing. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I got to let you guys know if I miss anything, it's not me, it's YouTube. Every time I run a live video, YouTube cuts somebody out. And also a quick reminder, since we got some people on, I have 5 coaching slots open. I have 2 open, but I'm adding 3 more. So if you're interested, hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman, at Ben the Barman. These go quick, and they're only $80 a month. So if you're interested, it's full, complete hands-on. I do your workout, I do your nutrition. I'm there every single day to kick you in the ass. So it's a good value. Antonio Schmidt, been interested in strongman lately, but can't find any gym around with the implements. How about a vid talking about strongman training in a regular gym? It's a good topic, but I'm no expert at strongman training. I have some friends that do strongman, and I've seen some guys at the gym do strongman without implements. A lot of times it's just about getting creative and mimicking, some of the movements they do. The single arm dumbbell overhead presses, stuff like that, the cleans and presses, and the deadlifts. Those are pretty self-explanatory. But you can work on things like farmer's carries, yoke walk. You have to be really careful with that with a barbell. So I wouldn't recommend that. But honestly, I'm no expert at strongman training. If I was going to make a video on strongman training and ghetto strongman training at home, I would do my research on YouTube. That's what I would do, just to educate you guys on how other people are doing things. So, basically just get strong on the basics and, do your deadlifts and do your single arm overhead presses or 2-arm overhead presses. And then, see what other people are doing outside of the gym, outside of a strongman gym to train, because I know there's got to be quite a few videos on that. I'm sorry I couldn't be more helpful. Marvin, would hyperextensions be a sufficient exercise to replace a deadlift in weeks where you don't want to train deadlifts? Greetings from Germany. Honestly, the hyperextension, no. It's not a replacement for deadlifts. It's a good assistance exercise. I like to go on a hyperextension machine, and I like to do glute ham raises as well, just tossing that out there. But what I would do, and what I typically recommend, is that you have a deadlift week, and then the next week you do rack pulls or block pulls or something a little bit lighter, or even Romanian deadlifts. You don't have to pull from the floor every week. Pulling from the floor every other week is okay. But in weeks where you are not, if you decide you only want to deadlift every second week, I would make your second week really focused on power shrugs, on barbell rows, on hex bar rows, on dumbbell rows. Make it row strong. And to work your lower back, you could do some back extensions, some RDLs, 2 sets of 10. I really generally don't like to program more than 2 sets of RDLs, but I would probably consider RDLs before I would do back extensions. I think they have more value. Just don't do as much volume. That's just my opinion. Roy Thompson, good morning. What's your opinion on hammer strength bench press versus regular bench press? Roy, it's not an either or, to be honest with you. It's not, they're not comparable movements. So, if you don't want to bench or you can't bench, then you can certainly make progress on using other movements. But, they're not really comparable. The regular bench press or any barbell movement, that it's not tethered, it's not machine based. It's going to involve more strength and more muscles and more effort. So I don't like to do comparisons like that because it's not fair. I like to do both. That's always my answer. The best answer is both. Gun to head, which one would you do? Absolutely the bench press or dumbbell bench press. But, if you don't want to bench press, there's ways to build muscles without barbells and dumbbells. You still have to, get incredibly strong and push yourself. Let's see. Toya Busa, greetings from Netherlands. What's going on? And Justice Max said, the 7th, 6th to the 8th. We are actually running a 12-hour endurance race that weekend. We're just doing a training run. I'm going to see if I can get 60 or 70 Ks in. So unfortunately, we won't be able to make it. Well, I think that's on the 7th. So we'll see about the other days. It's possible we could. Alex, 1, 2, 3, 4. Should I train to failure? I've answered this question many times before, and I'm going to explain it real quick. Anybody, just to lead off, anybody that tells you you should or shouldn't train to failure on all exercises or no exercises, doesn't understand the nature of exercises. All exercises are different. Some exercises are more forgiving, and some are very dangerous to train to failure. By dangerous, I mean they increase the risk compared to the reward. You don't want to train to failure on deadlifts. You really don't want to train to failure on squats. I find I can train to failure on bench press without any real issues. Training to failure on barbell rows, no real issue. But that aside, not all exercises are equal. There's no need to train to failure. There's no added benefit. What I teach is push every set for as many reps as possible. Stop that set when you feel like your form's breaking down or you might fail on the next rep. You get to my point in training on a set, and there's no extra value in adding a rep because your form's just going to break down. It's going to be a crappy rep, and you're going to just increase the risk of injury. Training to failure just increases the risk of injury. It doesn't increase the muscle. It doesn't increase muscle building. So just keep that in mind. Let me get some coffee here. Christopher, morning. Are squats and regular deadlifts sufficient for hamstring strength and growth? Or do I need leg curls? That's a question, honestly, that I've asked myself many, many times when programming. And it's a complex question. And different people will respond differently. I don't like just relying on those two for hamstrings. I don't. I do glute ham raises on a back extension machine. I often toss in leg curls, but leg curls, there's limited weight you can really do with leg curls. That's more like, for me, that's almost like a conditioning or a base level conditioning exercise where you're just trying to maintain a mild degree of strength. Reverse hypers, glute ham raises. If you can do things like that, I think those have a lot of value in adding those into your program. If you don't have access to those at a gym, then I would encourage you by all means to add in, Romanian deadlift or a leg curl. I would definitely recommend adding it in just as a backup and a fail-safe. And let's be honest, leg curls don't take that long to do. They really don't at all. So I generally don't like, I know the squats and deadlifts hit your hamstrings, but I don't like just leaving it at that. Let's put it that way. I think there's more value in adding in some more direct focus work on hamstrings like glute ham raises, reverse hypers, and even leg curls. So I hope that helps some. Gary says, I wish I could stay, but I got to go. All right, Gary, stay out of trouble this weekend. Stay warm. You're welcome, Marvin. Asim, coming back from a disc injury. I started doing squats and RDLs for my leg day as advised by my physiotherapist. 5 sets each with 10 to 12 reps. I find myself out of fuel after those. That's okay. You're just coming back. Being out of fuel, I get a lot of people that'll say when I give them a program, man, I'm gassed after this exercise or that exercise. And sometimes they'll tell me I didn't go on. Like, why? You're trying to increase your work capacity. So if you feel fatigued in the middle of a workout, some people want to quit. Some people think it's too much volume. Don't. It's not too much volume. What we need to do is increase your work capacity. Some people will think that because you're taxed after compounds, there's no value in doing work after that. Nonsense. There absolutely is. Absolutely is. You're trying to bring up your work capacity. You're putting the icing on the cake. You want to increase your work capacity. You want to have that extra volume. So I know you're gassed. It's just part of the business, man. I mean, you just got to keep rolling, just got to keep bringing up your work capacity, and you got to keep progressing on those extra exercises. That's the only thing you can do. Let's see. Harap. How tight should your grip be during curls? Should wrists be bent back a little or in line? I wouldn't. You just got to keep things natural on curls. Don't force an unnatural wrist position. And I don't think about grabbing how tight I grab the bar on dumbbells. Grab it tight enough so you don't lose it, really. And I'm not being dismissive, but don't overthink about it. Or don't overthink it. There's There's no extra value of doing a death grip in curls other than it'll probably increase the likelihood that you pick up elbow tendonitis. You got to be really careful with curls and rowing exercises for back because those contribute to elbow tendonitis. So don't over grip things. Just keep it natural and keep your wrists natural during those movements. You don't want to jack yourself up. Good morning, Aniket. How's it going today? Ben on adventures. Let me get some coffee here, guys.
I need some water.
She needs some water. She's over here doing girl stuff.
Eating chocolates and cross-stitch?
Yeah. Ben on adventures. Thoughts on using RDL to be less fatigue. Thoughts on using RIR. Sorry, I read that incorrectly. To be less fatiguing. I don't have no idea what RIR is. That's, in 35 years in the industry, somebody must have made up that bullshit recently because I have no idea what it means. I have no idea. Everybody's making up bullshit acronyms lately.
What is it called?
I don't know. Some overcomplicated monkey piss.
RIR.
Somebody's going to think I'm ignorant, but every 3 days somebody's making up some overcomplicated bullshit for training while they're remaining weak fucks. So just fucking crush weight. Not sorry, Ben. Not being dismissive, but maybe
reps in reverse. How many more reps could you do before you fail?
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to be dismissive. I've never heard of it before, and I've heard of pretty much everything, so I'm not who invented that. Yvonne, squats 2 times a week and deadlifts 2 times a week, too much. I would not deadlift 2 times a week. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Deadlift is one exercise you don't want to overwork. You'd have more value. One thing I do recommend to a lot of my clients is when they're in an A-B split that they do RDLs, dumbbell RDLs or barbell RDLs after squats. And then, they do, you can do deadlifts in the same week. I would do variations for deadlifts. I would do like power shrugs and RDLs, things that kind of train parts of the deadlift. Or the yoke or the back. But squats you can absolutely do twice a week. All comes down to programming. Deadlifts you could probably do twice a week if you programmed it correctly, but you would not want to do intensity. Some people could handle them better than others. But generally in the long run, for the average lifter, if you're trying to bring up your deadlift, there's more value. You have limited amount of time in your programming each week. So if you're wanting to bring up your deadlift, there's other things you can fill that time with that will pay off in the long run. Getting your back as strong as you can, getting your quads as strong as you can. And those are 2 things I preach for a strong deadlift. So very complicated subject, but I generally, for the most part, don't see any value in training the deadlift 2 times a week. Let's see, Perseverance. Hey, big, hairy, ugly dude. I recently bought creatine ethyl ester a few weeks ago, and I'm drinking it in combo with creatine monohydrate. Opinion on creatine ethyl ester. Look, creatine mono will forever be the researched king. Everybody's always been trying to come out with a new and improved version of creatine, and creatine ethyl ester has been around for a while, and there's nothing wrong with it. But, honestly, my opinion is if you want to combine both, there's nothing wrong with that. They're just 2 versions of creatine. I don't know that there's been any research. There may have been, but there's been any research to show, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, any benefit from combining these 2 forms. So, with that in mind, if you like it, go for it. There's no downsides. There's no downsides at all. And just see if you like it. If you like it, run with it. But there's no downsides. There's just no research that I'm aware of that shows any benefits, if that makes sense. Let's see. All right, we got Yvonne. Squats and deads on the same day. I'd have to know more about your programming. If you're training them once a week, absolutely. Absolutely, you could do them. What I would do if you're training them once a week is week 1, I would do heavier squats, like 5 or 6 rep squats, and then lighter deadlifts. Week 2, I would do your heavier deadlifts, like 5 to 6 reps, 80 to 85% of your 1 rep max with deadlifts, and then lighter squats for volume. If you're training multiple times a week, I would not do deadlifts and squats 2 times a week. But if you're doing once a week, I would rotate intensity. 1 week would be a squat focus day, 1 week would be a deadlift focus day, but you're still getting both in. But you can absolutely do them on the same day. They will kick you in the old cojones. They will make you gird up your big, juicy, hairy testicles and challenge you, but you can do them in the same day. Some people won't like them, but you can absolutely. Just don't try to do both heavy in the same day, because that's a recipe for fatigue, which fatigue can lead to injuries and all that kind of stuff. You don't want to do these exercises when you're fatigued. Daniel C. I heard taking iron supplements helps process protein better. Is that true? Well, I will say this, Daniel. All micronutrients have value in the body, and there's a reason why all micronutrients have recommended daily values. Anything you do that puts you in a deficit of a nutrient is going to screw up the body. Now, if you're low on iron to begin with, then you're going to have a lot of issues. But, if you're low on iron, you need to make sure you're getting in your iron just for overall health, because you got bigger issues than processing protein, if that makes sense. And I'm not being dismissive of the question. But, iron deficiency is not something you really want to mess with. So, it'll impact many, many different things in the body, many different things. I don't know specifically because I've never come across the tie-in between iron deficiency and protein assimilation. But with that said, we can rationally and reasonably assume that an iron deficiency would impact many, many things. So, just make sure you're getting in your recommended daily allowance of iron, and don't go overboard on it, and train hard, and you'll be absolutely fine. Let's see. Chris, now I just deadlift. Any ideas?
No.
Sorry, I don't know what that means. Let's see. Rasheen, can you please tell a simple warm-up before squats? Rasheen, tell me your... okay, if your starting set is 225 for reps, you do bar by 10, maybe a second set of bar by 10, depending on how cold it is in your gym. Then you do 135 by 5 by 8. Then you can do 185 by 3 by 5, and then 225, get after it. If you're starting with like 315, 1 to 2 sets of bar by 10, 135 by 5 by 8, 225 by 3 by 5, 275 by 1 by 3, and 315, get after it. How's that? Etiquette. Any clue why I have knee pain after deadlift? Yes, because you did not have the big, hairy, ugly dude critique your deadlift form. It's true. But no, there's an issue. There's some issue going on. Likely some issue with form. And you really need somebody to look at it. I offer a critique service on my website, Super Living Today, if anybody's interested. And I'm going to comb through your form, and I'm going to tell you what exactly you're doing wrong. But knee pain can be contributed by a lot of things. You can have your foot angle out. You can have off angles, like one foot's out, one foot's in. It could be a case of general weakness. It could be a case of, sorry, I got to ban some dipshit for spamming. Let's see. Spamming comments. Take off your shirt. How about go fuck yourself? You fucking weirdo.
Your nipples will poke you in the eye. Is that fucking cold in here?
Yeah, some dipshit spamming. Take off your shirt. How about you go eat a bag of dicks?
I think I would be banned off YouTube if I took off my shirt.
Let's see. Sorry about that.
I might be banned if I take off my shirt.
Sorry, the eat a bag of dicks is kind of my comeback to anybody that aggravates me. And I don't think I've ever let that out on YouTube before.
Story,
all right, back to the program. Any clue why I have knee pain after deadlifts? There's too many variables, really. I'd be happy to look at a video of your deadlift for free, but you'd have to send it to me on Instagram at Ben the Barman. and I'd be happy to take a look. Sean Dunn, hey, big hairy ugly dude, thanks for doing these chats. You're welcome. Thank you for your support. I experience a lot of low back soreness after low bar squats. Can you low bar with a slightly more vertical back angle? You'd probably have to widen your stance to get more upright. Low bar squats for me put a lot more strain on my lower back because of my limb lengths and all that kind of stuff. So, you probably need to go a little bit more wide. I think that's the solution to take less strain off your back. I don't know why you're specifically, in the low bar path right now, but maybe you could tell me if you've been experimenting with high bar squats, because high bar are going to get you a little bit more upright. So you might want to consider those. I don't know your complete history, but that's just some general advice. Zahir, reps in reverse. I still don't know what the hell that means. That's like saying there's like saying 3 different forms of Chinese. There's Mandarin Chinese, like reps in reverse. What are you doing? Reversing time, walking in reverse. I don't know what it means, but I appreciate. I'm just being a goofball, busting balls here. So don't take that as attacks. Everybody can be so sensitive on the internet. I still don't know what that means. TJL, thank you TJL for being an insider. You guys can join the insider. I put up tons of videos, and it's only $1.99 a month. TJL, thank you. Do you think training a conventional deadlift and trap bar deadlift together is overkill? Using the trap bar mostly to get volume without tearing my back up. No, I don't believe it's overkill, because I believe training both together, and my way of doing it is obviously every other week, gives you a week where you're putting less strain on your lower back, less direct strain on your lower back. And for that reason, I believe there's a lot of value, and I believe it's the opposite of overkill. Despite what the Ripitos of the world say, we have to look at programming as a whole, right? And the deadlift can be so fatiguing for the average individual on the lower back that taking a week where you're a little bit more or less lower back intense by doing rack pulls, block pulls, trap bar deadlifts has a lot of benefit. You're still building strength from a different angle, different setup, and then you can come back to deadlifts, and I find your lower back's fresh, or more fresh, or has the potential to be more fresh. So it's definitely something you might want to try. I have always found in individuals that I have trained, for the most part, not as a rule, but for the most part, when they do 2 deadlift variations, like sumo and conventional, or conventional and trap bar, or sumo and trap bar, over a long period of time, their main lift goes up. And it's almost like the West Side type of things, doing multiple, doing the conjugate method, but it's not that complicated. You're building strength on 2 major compound movements that almost have the same exact path, same exact function. So I find a lot of value in it, and I don't believe it's overkill at all. Let's see, Marvin. Everyone in the industry rates RDLs as a light deadlift. I can RDL 315 by 10. If I'd sew that after heavy squats, it trashes my lower back. Any thoughts on that? I would pull back on the volume. I'm not a big fan of doing too much volume on RDLs. So if it's trashing your lower back, I would just simply reduce the volume a little bit. I'd probably go down to 2x10 or 2x8 and just see how that feels. And if that is treating your back like crap, I would probably do 1 set and then maybe find another exercise for your hamstrings, like reverse hypers or glute ham raises or something like that. Because we kind of, when it comes to programming, if anything is getting you injured right now, maybe your lower back is a weakness. We have to find a way to continue to get you stronger without injuring that lower back. So sometimes we have to replace pieces of the puzzle temporarily just to get you up to speed. Perseverance. Thoughts on sled pull and sled push? I've done them before. I don't mind them. one thing I will say is I think they're good to squeeze in on your squat and deadlift day. They're just a fun, like, little finisher work. I don't like to use them as conditioning. I mean, let's be honest, 5 rounds of pulling a sled, 50 yards, that's not really super fitness, right? It's not really super fit. But I would use them after squats or deadlifts as some sort of a finisher. They're really good compound movement. They're going to work all aspects of your glutes and your hamstrings and your quads. And when you're at the end of a squat and deadlift workout and you really just want to kick yourself in the balls, and gird up your big juicy hairy testicles, I would do them. Just do them. You have more energy left. Just get after them. They have no downside to doing them. Just be careful and don't, and progress on them reasonably. Don't go overboard and get yourself injured. Silent, TBGR, elbow tendonitis, anything to effectively help with this. Silent, I want you to go to my main channel when the video is done and search tendonitis. I have like 3 videos on this. And I provide some really good tips on elbow tendonitis. The main thing is to get yourself some Versa grips. All the gripping we do during back work generally puts a lot of pressure right here on that elbow tendonitis area. And just by using Versa grips, it'll allow you to relax your grip a little bit, and there's a good chance over time you're going to experience an improvement in your elbow tendonitis. And speaking of grip, Sean Sullivan, any tips for accessory grip strength exercises that have lower risk of causing forearm tendonitis? The gripping stuff, like I just talked about a second ago, generally helps contribute to elbow tendonitis. The forearm roller is a good way to increase your forearm strength without grip work. Grip strength, static holds maybe. Static holds and static hangs, something you could superset. If you have elbow tendonitis right now, probably have to revert to the last question. And I don't know that you do, but if you have it, you might want to invest in some Versa grips because in the long run, that's going to help you with any elbow tendonitis issue. And, grip strength, you have your ability to hold statically, right? And then you have your crush grip, which is this, like captains of crush grippers or whatever they're called. Then you have pinch grips where you're pinching 1 finger, 2 fingers, even 3 fingers, that sort of thing. You can work on pinch, and I don't think that's going to be as hard as working on crush or static hold strength. But I don't know, man. It's a slippery slope. If you have elbow tendonitis and you're going to do extra grip work, you got to be really careful, and I would definitely put some Versa grips in the mix. And I know that's not really an answer, but it's a complicated question. Eric, Michigan here. What's going on, Michigan? Mr. No-Co sign. How big are your biceps? How big are my biceps, Fiona?
Do I have to get a tape?
My arms are 17 and a half, 17 and 3/4 inches. I have ugly looking biceps, just genetically ugly looking biceps, and monster triceps.
You do have big triceps.
Eric, any tips on having a co-ed training partner? Co-ed training partner.
You mean the opposite sex?
Yeah.
Doesn't make a difference.
I don't know if you mean your spouse, your girlfriend, or just a general person. If you're one thing I would say is, like, if you're doing co-ed training, and you're in the pit with this woman, and all of a sudden you realize that her butt's looking really, really attractive to you, or all that kind of good stuff. Don't hit her on her when you're training. I really have no tips. She's gonna have to train the same way.
We do the same exercises.
Yeah, me and Fiona train together. Just
I just do lighter.
Just don't be staring at her boobies while she's training. Don't be staring at her boobies.
I see you look at my boobies.
I do look at your boobies, but you're my wife. Have you heard of feeder workouts? Have you heard? Yes, I have. And I don't like to overcomplicate things, so it depends on context, what you're trying to achieve with that. Let's see. Mr. Noko sign, how do you find your wife? All right, good question. I like off questions. She stalked me on Instagram.
Oh, how did you find her?
Yeah, actually, we both lost 100 pounds, and we just kind of connected on Instagram. She slid into my DM, actually. She said, "Hey, big, hairy, ugly dude, you are the biggest, hairiest, ugliest dude I've ever seen. Will you marry me?" No. But seriously, that's not how it happened at all.
I think you said that like 2 days later.
Mr. Noko sign said, "I'm struggling with girls." Here's the thing to remember, okay? And you know, when it comes to struggling with the opposite sex, the first thing you need to do is stop putting pressure on yourself. Stop, you know, when you see a girl, don't treat her like an object. Like, I want that girl, and if that object doesn't want me, then I'm a subhuman. I'm not good enough. That's nonsense. You don't if a woman doesn't want to be with you, you do not want to be with the woman. There's like a billion other women out there waiting, and there's going to be the right one for you. And my best advice is, you know, lighten up. We all struggle with women. We do. Everybody struggles with relationships. The biggest mistake people make is that because they're lonely, they get involved with a relationship with somebody just to end that loneliness. And they would rather be in a relationship with somebody not good for them than wait. And then when they see somebody they like a coworker or whatever, like in their head, they dream up this scenario of how of all the magical unicorns and rainbows and, you know, all the great sex and all this stuff. And it's in your head. It's not reality. And then when the person rejects you, you're like a deflated balloon. You should cheer that shit, honestly, because if somebody doesn't like you, you do not want to be with them. You just, look, here's what you do. You get up every day and you punch the clock and you just talk to women. And if they don't like you, move on. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not, you know, obligated to like you, but the right one will like you. And the best thing you can do in life is just continue to grind and grind. And you probably have to fail 100 times before you find, or maybe even more, before you find somebody that'll put up with your ugly ass. Because you're all ugly. All of you are ugly. I can see you. I'm ugly. I'm the big, hairy, ugly dude. But you got to grind till you find one woman that'll put up with you because you're a man and you are, you know, we're men and we just want to sit around in underwear eating Cheetos and playing video games and drinking beer. If you can find someone that'll put up with you and love you, then that's a good thing. But honestly, look.
What did you do? You didn't look.
I didn't, honestly, you know, don't worry about rejection.
You weren't looking.
Wait for the right one. You know, you have value, so just hang tough, man. Just hang tough and wait for the right one. And if anybody says, "I don't like you," who cares? You probably wouldn't have liked them anyway. They probably would have been annoying as heck to you just because they're not your type. All right. As somebody mentioned that I missed their question. I say this every single YouTube video. YouTube, sometimes questions don't post. I never skip a question. So if you post a question, I don't see it. It's YouTube. It didn't show up. Just continue to repost it and I will answer it. Let's see. How do you progress in cardio? Many thanks for the Q&As. In cardio, I guess it depends on what form you're doing. The one thing I recommend is letting speed come to you. Let time come to you. Like in our running, I don't force speed and I don't force time. But what I do force is consistency. And with consistency, when you have those days that you feel really, really good, then you go after it, right? Then you do a little bit more. You go a little bit more quickly. But you want to progress in cardio naturally. The guys that scare me are the guys that go out and try to run an hour their first time out. Don't do that stuff.
It comes natural.
Or that try to run quickly. I've been running hardcore for 290 days now. And, you know, my speed slowly increases naturally just from consistency. So
some days you don't perform as well because you just got a lot of elements against you.
My best advice is just to be consistent. Let the speed come to you. Let the time come to you. And when you can improve. But just be consistent. And I hope that helps some. RC, by the way, cutting for midsummer. It's already mid-February. It takes a while. Start now. Absolutely start now. Because most of us have about 10 to 15 more pounds of fat to lose than we think. So absolutely start now. Let me get some love juice here. Boy. Grand Poobah VersaGrips Pro, $59.99 on Amazon. And if anybody thinks that's too expensive, I've had my VersaGrips for like 12 years and I'm still using them. Such an amazing value, and they're extremely durable. X Point Mocker X. I've been lifting again after 20 years, and when I went to squat, I forgot I have a shoulder impingement issue and struggle with bar placement on my back. Any thoughts on getting around the issue? If you're having shoulder issues on squats, you need to go as wide as possible to relieve pressure on the squats. If you can use a buffalo bar, bull bar, that's good as well. But that's really all you can do in the gym. I struggle to get a narrow grip because of my girth. I can't get my arms back. See that? I can't get my arms back because I'm too big and too old. So I have to use a wide grip. That'll relieve pressure on squats. If you can't do that, there's not a lot of other options in a commercial gym. The only real option you have if you train at home is buying a buffalo bar, bull bar. New York Barbell has them for like $230, and they're a great investment. Indrajit Mahadik. I'm struggling with girls too, especially introvert ones. Any advice? The advice I just gave, really. Just, we all struggle with girls. You just need to get out and...
Can I say something?
You just need to, you can say something.
I think most of the problem is that, I think most of the problem is men go too crazy and too worried. Just stop and let it come to you.
Yeah, relax.
And women can be shy and things like that, and sometimes you do need to do a little push or maybe show that you're interested because maybe they don't think you are because they're scared.
My best advice, look, be a good person. Don't lie. Be kind. Be patient.
Be fun and
be
funny.
attentive. Listen to people. Have fun.
Don't put pressure on them.
If you're going on a date with somebody, and even if it doesn't feel like it's the right person, just have fun. Just have fun.
Don't put pressure.
But don't put pressure on yourself. Like, where is this going to go? What's the next step? Is this the right one? Just relax and just get out there. For the love of God, there's 8,000 dating apps, and nobody's in any rush. I mean, there's 8,000 ways to meet people.
I don't know about dating apps. I never went on a date.
Well, that's fine, but there's 8,000 ways to meet people. However you do it, dating apps or Instagram or social media, we've never had more ability to connect. Use that to your advantage. But here's the thing. Be real. Be yourself. Don't try to put up a persona. When you're real and you're yourself, you're going to attract the right kind of person. Just wait for that person. Asim, do you need separate ab work if you program all the compound movements in your workout? Good question. And even though compound movements are really good for abs, what I find is when I don't do ab wheel or when I don't do planks, my core is not as strong as I'd like it. So there is value in doing extra ab work, but you want to do stuff that strengthens your core. Grand Poobah, try porking a girl that's not introverted. That's all.
What?
Porking is something.
That's like a word.
Yeah.
Olden days.
Yeah. Man, the Grand Poobah is going to try to pork girls. Yeah, but he's right. Try to find a girl that's not introverted.
Yeah, but.
Mitch, I didn't skip your question. I just didn't see it. Post it up again. Brian Land Photography, coming in here late from Tennessee. What's going on, Brian? Want to know if you could suggest home equipment to get or make a later video on the topic. Bench, row machine, dead squat machine, etc. Home gym equipment. If you're talking machines, might want to hit me up on Instagram if you're talking machines. The only thing I know, if you're going to do machines in the gym, there are some cable stations that are really good. I think Alan Roberts has a really good one. Machine quality, there's so many different types of machines that you really have to do your research. You can find a lot of stuff on Craigslist or used on eBay. But you want to research this stuff and make sure it's not crap before you buy it. My basic home gym is a squat rack, a bench with an adjustable back so you can do overhead pressing, especially if you have lower ceilings. You can do overhead pressing with support. Bands are great. Door anchored bands are great. A door anchored TRX unit is great. 2 spin lock dumbbells, or 2 sets of spin lock dumbbell handles. Spin lock dumbbell handles you can find at Walmart or Amazon. You want ones for the 20, 25, 30, 35 pound movements, and you want ones for the big beefier movements. What I hate about home dumbbells is having 100 pounds on one movement and then having to size them down to 25 for the next. So having 2 sets of spin lock dumbbell handles will save you a lot of grief. Eric, both of us actually wondering, should we expect her gains to increase at a similar rate? That's a good question. No. Women are very interesting creatures when it comes to training. Most women, even if they're strong at bench and deadlift, are most women that are strong at squat and deadlift still are relatively weak at bench. There are occasional freaks. Some women are really good at deadlift, like my wife, but she sucks at squats. She's just not built for squats.
But I can do bench really well.
Yeah, she can do bench really well. So women are very, very unique when it comes to what they are strong at.
But I can't do
So
squats.
you have to take some time and kind of figure out what their strengths and weaknesses are. Some women are great at squats and suck at bench. Some women are strong at bench and suck at squats.
Bench I find the most easiest thing to do.
But no 2 women are the same.
Just like us.
Let's see. Marvin, I'm 28 right now, and I think my best years to become as strong as possible are over. No, you're wrong, man. You are absolutely wrong. The strongest men in the world are generally in their late 30s to mid 40s.
So he's just becoming a man.
Absolutely.
Just
I just started getting my old man strength at 28.
Yeah.
You got a lot of mileage in that body. How long is it realistically possible to become stronger as a natural? If you train smart, man, you can. Look, I almost got to the point. I got to the point where I was 30 pounds away from the real world record. Not a federation world record, the real world record. And I was 50 years old. You can get strong. I mean, honestly, man, you can get strong. Once you reach about age 50, you might want to just kind of pull back the volume a little bit, but you got a lot of miles on those tires. So just take it easy and go slow. Let's see. All right, guys, I'm getting to the end of the questions. So if you guys have any more questions, toss them up. If not, I'm going to head off and go running. Last call for questions, so post them up now. X Point. Thanks for answering my shoulder impingement question. Off topic. A while back, you said you lived in Fond du Lac. I grew up in Fond du Lac, born and raised in Fond du Lac. Have you been back to Wisconsin lately? Yeah, we're going back around Easter. We were back there in November, so we go back several times a year to that area to get in trouble. Rashim, I hurted my knees while squatting, probably because of not warming up properly, and now I am bound to do upper body only from the past 1 month. Is it okay? Yes. If you get hurt, the worst thing you can do is try to push a lift because you think you have to do that lift. If you're injured, you need to baby yourself, and take time. One of the worst mistakes you can make with an injury is forcing or rushing. Wade, I use a gym that only has a Smith machine. Wade, I would leave that gym, which I use for squats, bench, and deadlifts. Is this adequate? Don't. Okay. I would rather see you do dumbbell exercises for bench. I would rather see you do leg press and get creative for squats. Deadlifts, you might be able to do like Romanian deadlifts, but a Smith machine has a fixed bar path. It takes a natural heavy compound movement and forces you into a fixed plane, which is more dangerous as the weight gets heavy. It's going to transfer loads to different areas of the body. You have to be really careful with that. I know guys that do Smith squats and Smith bench, and they get away with it. I think you can get away with it if you're very, very careful and take time. But with that said, I would find ways to train for muscle building that don't involve the Smith machine if possible, if that makes sense. Mitch Sampson, full body for intermediates and advanced lifters. Advanced lifters know their own programming, so they don't need to be told how to program. And I'm not being dismissive, but advanced lifters do what advanced lifters do because they know what works for them. Anybody can use a full body workout. Anybody can use a full body workout. They just need to, intermediates are going to know what works for them. When you build up a quality amount of strength, doing full body as an intermediate can just keep you longer in the gym, and it becomes a real pain in the ass. But that's highly individual, whether you want to do that or you don't. So it doesn't really matter how you train. It matters how you like to train. That's most important, if that makes sense. And let's see, Mr. Yaniv, are my questions not being seen? I haven't seen any of your questions in the log. So YouTube has a funny way of doing that. Post them up now because I'm about to hop off. Peppa Pig, you juju PP'd my question. Thank you. Anyone else see mine? No, we haven't. YouTube is like that, guys, and I tell everybody that in every single video. YouTube doesn't always post the questions up. I don't always see them. So if I miss them, post them up again. Justice, your thoughts on Shico bench program? I've used it with success. Well, if you stick to it, you're probably going to be successful. It's an all right program. I just don't think for the average lifter, it provides any more value in the long run than just doing, regular type of training. But sometimes it's just good as a experiment. There's something in training that goes like this. If you introduce a new variable to a trainee, even if the variable is not really that different from what they're doing now, it's going to increase their success because it's a new variable. I forget what we call this in training, but it works. So introducing a new program, whether it's Shico or whatever, is generally going to increase your results because it's a new program. So, Shico bench is fine, but I don't believe it's, for the average lifter, I don't believe it's any more valuable than any other program, to be honest with you. And please don't spam. If I missed your question, don't spam it like 7 times because I will block you. Spamming is annoying. Robert, tips on getting started running. Started police academy this summer and want to be ready for runs. 2 major tips. Run at conversational pace, meaning you can hold a conversation. And don't force speed. Let speed come to you. Don't go out and try to sprint. Maybe just start out with 20-minute blocks and see what you can do. Walk, run. Don't be afraid to walk. Let it come to you, but be very consistent, probably 4 times a week. Let me check it out. This summer, you have the police academy. You're starting the police academy this summer. That's plenty of time to get ready for it. I would run 20 minutes a week or 20 minutes a day, 4 times a week at conversational pace. And when you start to feel better or start to feel stronger, just run long. I would say after about a month or month and a half, on Saturdays or 1 day a week, go out and try to push yourself a little bit, not with speed, but with distance. Say, like what we're going to do today. Go out and say, I'm going to run as long as I can today. You'll find some value on that.
Or a little longer. There's always more in there. You always save the energy.
Any advice about when and how to resume training post-concussion? No. I don't have any advice at all. I really don't. I've never had a concussion, not my area of specialty. I wish I could help, but honestly, that's a question for a doctor. I have no experience with that at all, and I'm not being dismissive, but that's not my lane, and I don't know anything about it. Peter, talking about Smith, used that before and always ended up with sore back after barbell row. I used the Smith machine once on shoulder overhead press. All right. No one is blocking questions, Peppa Pig. And I've told you 700 fucking times.
George.
Sometimes I'm about to block you because you're spam. Say goodbye to Peppa Pig.
Bye, Peppa Pig.
Bye, Peppa Pig.
Daddy Pig.
Look, guys, YouTube is not censoring questions, blocking questions. It's a crazy app. Every single time I do a live video, 2 or 3 people think I'm ignoring their questions. They don't come through all the time. They don't. So, if your question's not coming through, just post it up again. I promise I stay on until every question's answered. Mr. Yaniv, if you train them, do you find that they help with your main bilateral lifts like squats? I assume we're talking about Smith machine. No. No, I do not find they do at all. There's other exercises that are far better at helping with squats, like doing extra quad work. Deadlifts. If you want to strengthen your deadlift, get your quad strong, your back strong. But the Smith machine is going to play no role in that. Let's see. The Black Blur. Opinions on veterans or anybody who discourage people trying to get into bodybuilding but can't due to not enough money. But I don't know about any veteran that's discouraging people from not getting into bodybuilding. If you're talking about pro level bodybuilding, lifting weights doesn't cost a lot of money, right? Getting strong doesn't cost a lot of money. Anybody that's discouraging you from doing something you love, they can go fuck off. That's as simple as I can put it. And I hate to break out a lot of F-bombs, but anybody that tries to tell you in life you shouldn't do something, they can go fuck off.
They're just afraid that
they can simply go the fuck off.
They know you have potential.
You're an adult, and the video I made yesterday about success. If you are passionate for something, you will dramatically increase the likelihood that you will be successful at it. I have shit genetics. Everybody assumes I have good genetics. I was a skinny, fat little teen, and I just liked what I'm doing. Do you think I have good genetics for ultra running?
No.
For fuck's sake.
No.
But I just keep doing it, and I hit 100K, and I'm going to hit 100 miles.
Honestly, he's like twice as big as everybody else out there.
I'm like twice as big as anybody out there. The last time I ran, they're like, there's this power lifter with these huge legs out there running. I don't know what's going on.
Your legs are like as big as my waist or my
But seriously, anybody that tells you, that tries to discourage you is a piece of human trash. And you can quote me on that. Anybody that tries to discourage you from doing what makes you happy is a piece of human trash, and they can rightfully go fuck off. How's that for an answer? Natural strength. Been working out for about 3 years, and my bench has went now where I work out 5 days a week. I'm 200 pounds, and my highest bench is 255. Any tips for breaking that wall? I have a lot of really good bench press videos on this channel, and I would go to the main channel and search bench press because I probably have 20 videos, just a world of content to help with that. I also have a bench program or a bench book on Super Living Today. It's a bench press course with all different types of bench press program ideas. And there's some really good stuff in there that have really helped people. And it's only $9.99 at Super Living Today. So you got tons of free stuff on this channel, and you got my bench press course. So use that stuff. It's free, and or it's the course is only $9.99. Let's see. I'm sorry, Mr. Yaniv. I was asking about single leg RDLs and lunges, not Smith machine. My apologies. My previous question was not visible. Single leg RDLs. I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with them. Lunges, I like high volume lunges, and I make all my clients do it, and they hate me for that. But I think it's a good quad exercise, and I like doing one body weight exercise for legs. So I think lunges can have some benefit in volume, in quad strength, which can only help with squats and deadlifts. And some people would disagree with me, but Single leg RDLs, I don't have a lot of experience with. I don't like the movement because it just feels unbalanced. But if you like it, try it. I would rather see you doing like glute ham raises or reverse hypers, but it's only an exercise. So try it and see what you think. For different people, it'll work good. And thank you for your support, Mr. Yaniv. Zen60. Fiona's right. When somebody tells you you can't do something, it's probably because they're afraid you might do it better than them.
Exactly.
Your life is so short,
People
guys.
see potential in other people's and they get jealous.
Life is so short. Never listen to. When somebody tells you not to do something, use that
Because they
as
know
fuel.
you're good at it.
No, you might not be good at it. You might
But
suck
they
ass at it.
see you and go,
All right, guys, I'm out of here. I appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate your support of this channel. If you need any further help, I have 5 coaching slots available. Hit me up on Instagram @BenTheBarman, @BenTheBarman, @BenTheBarman. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.